Greetings, comic book friends. I'm back celebrating our most anticipated day of the week, Wednesday, with TGIW. Thank God it is Wednesday, where we celebrate what comes out on New Comic Book Day. It has been a while since I did one of these, like 3 or 4 weeks, I think, with, I think, good reason. I was out of town for a couple of weeks, and then when I got back, it was close to so that was 2 Wednesdays missed. When I got back, it was close to a Wednesday, and I just wasn't able to put something together after just getting back in town. I hadn't had a chance to read anything, as you imagine. It's a lot. So I had to hold off until this week. Also, those that are astute will notice that these usually don't come out on Wednesdays anymore. They typically come out on Thursdays. That's just because my Wednesday has gotten stuff scheduled on it. So it's actually hard to put these together on Wednesdays. So I will most likely in the future be celebrating Wednesdays on Thursdays. But it is still the same TGIW that you know and love. All right. So we can start with I guess what came before. So, man, and they're all kind of mixed up at this point. All right, so I think that doesn't seem right either. So all I know for sure is what came out this week. So I guess I'll start there. The 3 weeks before that, I just have a stack of books, and I read them. But this week, hold on to your butts, only 4 books. Can you believe it? And one I pulled off the shelf. Crazy. So we had Ghost Rider number 12. I am loving the heck out of this book. I know when it first came out, it was on notice. Like, I might drop this. I'm not really enjoying it. I really like it now. I think it's kind of found its stride. And I'm excited to see where it goes after this issue in particular. Spider-Man number 6. So I think the next issue is going to be wrapping up this end of Spider-Verse arc with the Sahathra, the Wasp Totem. It's Spider-Verse madness and nonsense, which is always fun. So you can't really complain about that. Batman versus Robin number 5. So this is the end of this, and I'm glad. So I really like the Robin series that preceded this, and then Batman versus Robin spun out of that, and I didn't really like the premise of it. And then it went and did like Lazarus World or whatever DC did. I'm like, I don't care. It's too much. And then the last issue of it comes out where it gives like a short recap of Lazarus World. So the actual story is Robin, the first part of Batman v Robin, all of Lazarus Planet or something, and then this issue. I liked Robin. I didn't like anything that was after that. And what I pulled off the shelf is Spider-Man Unforgiven. I saw it was a Spider-Man one-shot, so I picked it up, and then I read it, and it was like, oh, to be continued in X-Men Unforgiven. Like, oh, crap, it's one of these. It's like the Murder World one, right? There was Murder World Spider-Man, Murder World X-Men, and I didn't get that Spider-Man because I saw ahead of time that that's what it was. I didn't realize that that's what this was. So, I don't know. It was good. I might continue with it just because the story was good. I don't know. I wish I would have known. I don't like when they do this. When it's a single story, just a bunch of number ones. It's hard to plan around. I wish they wouldn't do that. But yeah, only 4 books. That's freaking crazy for me for a week. I couldn't believe it. Like, and one of my comic shops was like, just a second, let me go double check and make sure that you don't have like a bunch out there. And I'm looking at the wall like, yeah, no, I think it was just a somehow got away with a really small week. It was nuts. Yeah. So I think this we'll kind of go in reverse order. So I think a good chunk of this stack was from last week, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. It's tough. But we'll just go over them, I guess. So we have. Just a second. No, yeah, we're fine. Saga number 62. I don't have much more to say about Saga than I already said. Like, it's good. I'm pretty much reading it now because I've always been reading it. It's not lighting the world on fire like it first did. It's more that, like, well, I'm invested now. I don't want to not know what happens to these characters, but at the same time, it's like, it's not the best. Punisher War Journal Base. So this is just a Punisher one-shot. This is a great story. These War Journal one-shots where it's kind of a look back into his life before he became Punisher, before his wife and kids died, and him coming back from the war and really struggling with reintegrating himself into life in society. It's very, very interesting and very good. I highly suggest it. Even if you're not reading Punisher, like, this has nothing to do with the current Punisher. So if you don't like the idea of the Punisher leading the Hand, this has nothing to do with that, even though he is wearing that shirt. It's nothing to do with that. It's just a really good Punisher story. Highly suggest it. Deadpool 4, he's got a bit of a carnage in him. And stuff happens. It's okay. It's what you expect from a Deadpool book, for better or worse, I suppose. But it's not the greatest Deadpool. It's not the worst Deadpool. Something is Killing the Children, number 29. I'm kind of starting to care about Something is Killing the Children a little bit more again, just because it's like, I really like this current storyline. I'm curious where it's going to go. It looks like there's a number of different ways it could potentially go that would possibly really kind of change the way things are in this book, but it seems like those might be a bit too big of a jump. I guess I'm trying to not give things away, but I do really like this storyline. Savage Avengers number 10. This is actually the conclusion of this story and this book for now. Actually, I kind of noticed that I think a lot of books that I got, I think most of these are from this last week, are things that are ending, which is actually kind of nice. But this is ending. This is the last issue. It was fun. I like Savage Avengers. I like going across different universes and timelines. This plays in the 2099 timeline. It was a lot of fun. Strange Academy Finals number 4. I think this is out of 6 issues. Oh, it does legacy number it, at least. I mentioned before, this doesn't make sense for this to be its own series because it's just the continuation. But I think it's only going to be 6 issues, and maybe that's the end. I'm still not sure. I didn't look it up. I've talked about it a few times, and I never look it up. I don't know. I don't like looking stuff up. This ended as well, and this kind of unfortunately, because I do love these. Spider-Man Double Trouble. These books are so much fun. So Peter and Miles team up. They get caught up in the midst of a supervillain convention. Thanos is the keynote speaker, so he shows up there. It's wacky, it's weird, it's a lot of fun. Amazing Spider-Man number 20. So this, along with 19, somewhere buried here. Yes, 19 and 20 is part of a 2-part story that's sort of a break. It's kind of a side story. Black Cat and Spider-Man, Peter and Felicia, go on a vacation someplace like in the mountains, and get like a resort or something like that, and stuff happens. It was good, as sort of a reprieve from the normal Spider-Man stuff. A little break after Dark Web. Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 5. This is also the end of this, I believe. It was fine. It was interesting to see to tie in Native American mythos into a Spider-Man book. The art and the visuals in it were great. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know if it was necessary. I mean, none of this is necessary. But there's too much. There's too much Spider-Man in particular going on at any one time, and the last few weeks in particular. So it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. I just wish they'd spread it out a little bit and not stack there's literally like 3, maybe 4 Spider-Man minis all going on at the same time. It's like you can't do that. Bad ideas. They're all terrible. Number 2. We're getting back to the point where I might have trouble remembering what things were. Like, there's like 35 books here, if not more. So there is a city that has an important resource, and they're going to get attacked. So they hire mercenaries. Important resource. I think that important resource is money. I think it has like a very large vault. And they hire some mercenaries to help protect it because they know they're going to get pirated. And I don't know. That's about as good as I can do right now. It's been good though. It's not over. It's Matt Kent. The art's really good. It's very cartoony. Not cartoony, but it's a little more, I'd say, animated feeling. Planet Hulk World Breaker. So in the future, Planet Hulk storyline, up to this point, it has featured very little of Bruce Banner Hulk. It's been mostly Amadeus Cho, and that's not a bad thing. It's been a good story, but with this issue, Bruce Banner kind of comes into the forefront with it. She-Hulk number 10. She is sad about the departure of Jack of Hearts. And it's kind of her dealing with that. Is the main thing. We're getting fuzzy. As we go back, we're getting very fuzzy. Junkyard Joe. The unnamed... the unnamed world that Jeff Johns is making is great. I cannot recommend them enough. Junkyard Joe is fantastic. An old experimental robot from the Vietnam War finds one of his war platoon. Where this issue starts getting into some conflict. We learn that maybe that Junkyard Joe has some serious problems. Hopefully kind of see where he actually came from. Yeah, it's very, very good. A couple Turtle stuff. Turtles 137 and Armageddon Game 4. And it's all Armageddon Game, right? Everything Turtles right now is Armageddon Game. Again, it's fine. It's too long-winded. I am excited for it to be over and wrapped up. That's it. Spider-Man 5. So I already talked about 6. So it's the same. Another Spider-Man mini, Spider-Man Lost Hunt. I think this got done as well. Is there another one in here? Number 5 come out? Who knows? We get some origins of Kraven the Hunter, which is kind of interesting. Some backstory on him. And nothing wrong with the book. It's good. It was interesting. I enjoyed it. It's just a lot of Spider-Man. And I love Spider-Man, but, too much of a good thing. Secret Invasion number 4. This also has been a lot of fun. I'm not sure how impactful it's going to be to the overall 616. It doesn't seem like it's bleeding out much to other places, but it's a very good story. Tales of Nottingham number 1. So spinning out of Nottingham, which was fantastic, fantastic book. So just some tales from that telling of the Crusades and those characters. Very good. Another one that ended. This one again, kind of unfortunately, Namor Submariner Conquered Shores. So good, so good. Again, I cannot recommend this book enough. If you didn't pick it up in issues, I'm sure they're not hard to find or wait for a trade. It's a fantastic read. But I'm biased. I love Namor. I love alternate universe stories. I love future stories. Those are all wrapped up into one. Invincible Iron Man number 3. It's been a while since I've been on an Iron Man book. I do enjoy it. So far, so good. Black Cat, Mary Jane and Black Cat. The dynamic between them is interesting because Black Cat and Peter are dating again. Mary Jane doesn't necessarily know about that, but she has her own thing going on, which still I don't think has been entirely explained. It's a fun team up, but again, it's not Spider-Man, but it's Spider-Man, right? It's just Gold Goblin, right? It's not Spider-Man, but it's freaking It's a Spider-Man title. It's good. I love this version of Norman, and I love how the bad stuff is sneaking in, and the Goblin Queen is like, "I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you to go evil again." There's nothing wrong with it. It's just so much Spider-Man. Okay. So, Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids. Time again, slime again. Every time I have this in my pull file, I'm like, why? Why am I getting this? And then I sit down and read it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's so much fun. God, I love this book. And it's talk about unnecessary. Out of everything that's here, this is the most unnecessary book that I probably get. So that's why I'm like, God, I really, really don't need this. Like, if anything should go, it's this. But I do love it. It's funny. It's fun. I don't know. Joe Fixit, in going back in time, getting a nice Hulk Joe Fixit story while he's bouncing for the casino. It's really good. I don't know if you like Hulk. It's Peter David, so it's the right writer, the correct writer. And we did continue on with Hulk because I want to see how this wraps up. See how well Otley can fix Kate's his disaster on that. House of Slaughter 12. I don't remember because we're really getting back now. But I do enjoy, I know that I enjoy. I just can't remember the specifics of that issue. Fantastic Four number 4. Here we go. So the previous 3 issues on Fantastic Four. Oh goodness, excuse me. Hope that wasn't too loud. Probably was. I mentioned I enjoyed, but they're all kind of like spotlights. Like, this is a thing in Alicia's story. This is a Human Torch story. This is a Reed and Sue story. Here we're finally getting them all together, and it was worth it. It was worth the wait. This is so good. I'm so excited for Ryan North's run on this. So good. the just you. I mean, so the first three issues, they were like something bad has happened, and it kind of refers to like what happened with the Baxter Building, and it didn't really tell you why. It's just something bad happened that caused them to like we need to split up for a bit. Here they come back together, and it's explained what happened. This one I do remember because it was so good. And I mean, what happened was it wasn't the worst, but you can see why people are upset. And I don't want to give too much away. But they come back together and sort of work out their feelings, I guess. And it's good to have found out like what the event was, and them kind of confronting each other about it. It's very, very good. Daredevil 8 just continues to be great. It's fun when they do things with both these characters, both Punisher and Daredevil. They do something like this is not your normal run-of-the-mill Daredevil or Punisher story. They are stepping out of their normal bounds. Not so far out of their bounds that they can't come back. But it's like, we're going to go play over here for a little bit. And it's a lot of fun. And then putting them together, it makes a lot of sense. It's really good. Both Daredevil and Punisher. It's fantastic right now. Batman Incorporated number 5. Yes, 5. So this wraps up this initial story. And I think it's ongoing, not a limited. But this is kind of a roller coaster of a book with Ghostmaker, where it's like, yes, Ghostmaker used to be bad, but he's getting better. And then it goes back and says, but he did this. It's like, oh, that is bad. And then it's like, well, maybe it wasn't so bad. And like it kind of goes back and forth. Here you kind of learn the whole story. And things kind of wrap up nicely. But I do like this book. I do like this group of Bat people. Speaking of Bat people, Batman Beyond the White Knight. So this ended as well. So we got another thing to wrap up, which is nice for the stacks. And it was good. This is, and I don't want to give it away because kind of the ultimate thing that comes out of this is pretty important. But it's it's good. We have a Terry Guinness-esque character who has like the Batman Beyond armor and is kind of being manipulated. Jack Napier / Joker, who has previously died in a previous issue, had uploaded his brain into an AI, and he like hangs out with Batman. And then they get to a point where they can like project him and stuff. So it sounds dumb, but it's really good. Maybe it is dumb, but it's done well. It's fun. But I really like these White Knight series. If you haven't been reading them, I do suggest going back, getting trades all the way back to the beginning and reading them through. It is one long story made of multiple arcs. It'd be hard to jump right into the middle of it. But if you have the means and you haven't read it and you have any interest in Batman at all, and it doesn't take place in the main DC universe, it's its own sort of Elseworld sort of thing, but it's very, very good. Speaking of Elseworld sort of thing, the Batman proper book, he is in an alternate universe where there is no Batman. And so things aren't necessarily super great there. So he gets transported there. And while he's there, he's like, things gonna suck here. Maybe while I'm here, I should help out. Alien 6. This also is finished, though I think it just, it's gonna start over with number 1. So this story arc is finished. But Alien is gonna keep going. It was interesting. It kind of lost me on like when this sexy alien got, or like someone merged with an alien, some lady merged with an alien to become. There's a lot of like experimentation and stuff going on, but the core story was good. There's some weird stuff in there as well. And lastly, Swamp Thing Green Hell. This, man, I love Swamp Thing. I love a good Swamp Thing story. We don't get enough of them. Not because bad stories are made, we just don't get enough Swamp Thing in the first place. This is in the future. Swamp Thing has retired. He's been allowed to go to a pocket of the green and just exist with the soul of Abby and their daughter. While things move on in the real world, he has no idea what's going on there. Spoilers, it's not great. So John Constantine, being the bastard that he is, pulls him out of his paradise to be like, hey, we need your help. He's like, this is not my concern anymore. And he's like, well, I'm not going to send you back. So, John Constantine, what a jerk. So that's the new books from the past 4 weeks. I did pick up some other things. When I went to pick up, well, let's see, this week, I picked up a couple pops. And I don't really do these anymore, but I got these for a special reason. So a friend and I are going to go to a convention where Kevin Eastman is going to be. And my friend and I, we've been friends since preschool. And we both got super, super into Ninja Turtles. As I've mentioned already here, this video, how important Ninja Turtles was in my development years. So we always connect over turtle stuff. So, his favorite was always Leonardo, and mine was Donatello. So I picked up these art pops, which are really nice looking pops. It's nice because they come with pop protectors. But I picked these up for us to get them signed. So, he takes the Leo, I take the Don, and we have that. It just seemed like a cool idea, so I picked those up. That was this week. A couple weeks ago, when I went and got the stuff that had come in, while I was out of town, I was not in the market for this book. I wasn't in the market for any extra book, but they had this, and it was such a good deal that I couldn't pass it up, and it's such a great cover, and this one presents so well. Batman 189. So this is the first Silver Age appearance of Scarecrow. I am pretty sorely lacking on Silver Age Batman keys, admittedly. I have a handful, but I should bump up that collection a bit more. But it's been hard to do when I was so focused on completing the run of Spider-Man and then Hulk and now Daredevil. I hadn't been concentrating on other types of keys, and Marvel keys is usually where I go to because that's just where my preference lies and where most of my knowledge lies. But I do think it's important that I get some more Batman keys and probably some Superman keys. I probably have more Superman keys than I do Batman keys. But my Batman keys are lacking. But I saw this. I looked through it like it was in good shape. I got a really good deal on it. I couldn't say no. So I picked that up. That made for a very expensive day between that and 2 weeks worth of comics. And those 2 weeks were big weeks too. They were big weeks. So that was a rough day. And then I've been out of town for a couple weeks. So I had to go grocery shopping and I literally had nothing. So I had to completely stock my house with groceries. It was a very expensive day. Anyway, that's it. That is a huge TGIW. That's 4 TGIWs crammed into one. I doubt anyone is watching anymore. I'm barely paying attention. So, whatever. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. And of course, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.